Hey guys, Kerry Werner here from the Kona Maxxis Shimano team. Want to talk to you guys about day 2 of Rochester Cyclocross. So before we get into the actual race recap, we should talk about the fact that the course changed up a bit from yesterday. This year, Scott Page decided to incorporate a flyover, which allowed him to change up the course much differently than in years past. So that whole front side of the course where all the technical sections were yesterday is now backwards. We've never done this before, and in my opinion, the course flowed a lot better. Yesterday, that technical section had a lot of really short, choppy efforts, and it kind of didn't really flow well. This on day two, that same section now allowed you to carry a bit more speed, and it just had a totally different feel. The whole backside of the course was exactly the same, so no change there. A lot of wide open power sections with some touchy off cambers and those Belgian stairs. So off the start straight, same start straight as yesterday, but instead of wrapping right around onto pit 1, we stayed on the bike path and jumped right into the backside of the course where you'd normally pick up pit 2. So it kind of had like a bit of a start loop. So this made having a good start somewhat crucial, not as much as yesterday since we didn't get thrown right into the technical stuff, but being towards the front for those off cambers were kind of important. Then we came through the start finish and worked our way right into kind of like the defining feature of the day, the double trouble section that we hit yesterday, but we did it backwards. So everybody spent a lot of time in warm-up and pre-ride laps trying to ride this thing, and it was rideable. Riding it gassed though, seeing red,
Let's go, Curtis.
was a different story. Like yesterday where there was a technical section into the bike path, the same thing today. So you'd hit double trouble, you would open up on the bike path, so playing this yo-yo game again. Then we'd hit a run up and straight into the second technical section, do the fun little half pipe stuff, and come back. I had a good start. Sat about fourth wheel. Curtis got the whole shot, and I think because of yesterday's mechanical, he had like a little bit of redemption on his mind, and he was out for blood, and we were cool with it. He was on the front for the first 5 laps or so, just setting pace, riding a really good, hard, steady tempo. He made the split happen. So it was Curtis, Vincent, Steven, and myself, and that's kind of what happened. The first 5 laps just stayed that way. It didn't start to separate until later in the race. Though I will say every lap, positioning on that double trouble feature was pretty crucial. The further front you were, the less you were having to deal with, the yo-yo effect and really having to work hard to get back on before things would open up again on the backside of the course. Regardless, Curtis did eventually start to tire. We took advantage of that. I think it actually happened on the double trouble feature. We jumped in front of him before it. There was maybe a bobble. People were potentially running. It was Bastins, Hyde, and myself setting pace with Curtis just a few wheel lengths back. This was with 3 or 4 laps to go. We kind of took turns setting the pace and making sure that Curtis wasn't going to be part of the finish. Steven did a bunch of pacemaking. I got on the front and did pacemaking for a lap or so, and then we kind of rolled into 1 lap to go. We had a good 10 seconds on Curtis, so it was really a battle for podium placing here between the 3 of us. Coming into 1 lap to go, I kind of knew that I didn't have the legs to like play the accordion again. Coming through the finish straight, I was sitting 3rd wheel, and those guys were kind of just soft pedaling. We came into 1 to go, and I unleashed an attack. My plan was to make it through the pit 1 and through that double trouble section in the lead. That way I wouldn't have to, work on closing that gap down on the bike path, that section I was struggling with. Unfortunately, the legs decided to shut down. They came around me right before the double trouble section, and like I had imagined, they opened it up. and I was kind of just there riding my own pace. So I finished out the lap strong, keeping an eye on Curtis behind me. You know, in a race situation, it felt like he was just like breathing down my neck and like potentially making up time on me, but I was able to hold him off. All the while I was kind of watching Steven and Vincent in front of me, seeing what played out for them. They took it all the way to like the last 4 or 5 corners of the race. They hit the Belgian stairs together, and then I think Vinny unleashed an attack right after an off-camber left-hander after those stairs. That was all she wrote for Steven. Rochester, day 2. Vincent Bastians came in first, Steven second, and me in 3rd place to finish off the weekend. You know, I've always struggled on this course. It's not necessarily in my wheelhouse. There are sections where it's punchy, but for the most part, there's a lot of you know, longer power sections, which is something that I've struggled with more so in the past. So coming out of this weekend and having 2 strong results and 2 podium finishes on a strong field, you know, I'm stoked moving forward. And next up is Charm City, the 2nd round of the USCX series. This will also be live streamed, so make sure you jump on that GCN Plus coverage to watch it. Hopefully they've got all the bugs sorted out. I heard that there was some not super great live stream coverage last weekend, but that's why I do the vlogs, that's why I do these recaps, and hopefully with all this media coming out, tack on the CX Hares Bulletin, you guys get a full picture of kind of what went down. Yeah, we'll see you guys next weekend in Charm City. Thanks.